Since the start of the pandemic, employees have been relying on their company's leadership for effective policy decisions about public safety and general well-being in the workplace.
Meantime, workers are struggling with stress and uncertainty caused by the nonstop merging of home life with major outside events beyond their control. Dr. Tana Session is an executive performance strategist and best-selling author. She joins us now with her top 5 actions that employers should take to adequately and legally support their employees during times of crisis. Good morning. It's good to see you again.
Good morning. Good to see you both as well. Happy New Year.
So you've broken down your recommendations into the ABCs of action. What are some of the first things that employers should do?
Yes. So first, let's start with the letter A. And A is that you want to act sooner rather than later. Okay. So employees are expecting their employers and leadership teams to make a statement and share their thoughts and feelings on the different crises that are happening. The expectation is that the company should do the right thing and base it based on their core values or their policies and procedures and even their company culture. And then ultimately, you want to be able to come across your message as not being performative or disingenuous, because your employees will see right through that. And then B, you want to be consistent. And that's important because leaders want to be able to show how they're going to show up for their employees, right? So being consistent in their decision making and how they're actually approaching their messaging with their employees. And understanding their fears and concerns, you want to be able to help them feel that they're being heard and that you're appreciating where they're coming from with their own experience around these crises. And then finally, let's get to C. C is for compassion. So compassion will go a long way with employees during crisis. Employers should connect with their employees and help them understand that they're leading from the heart and the head. And you want to be able to connect with them on an emotion, understand what their emotional landscape is around their dealings with these crises. And this may lead to a level of vulnerability that some leaders may not be comfortable with, but it's necessary.
I think a lot of employees hear their bosses say, we are going to be transparent with you. We're going to have open and honest communication. Then they're not open and honest with their communication. They're not transparent. So what are the recommendations for that?
Well, let's start off with D. So we want to keep with the ABCs, okay, right? So D is about driving a culture of equality, inclusion, and belonging. And that means you want to take the time to treat your employees and understand, again, how are these crises impacting them? Being able to understand from their perspective, giving them a sense of belonging within the workplace and understanding that they may be dealing with these crises different. Some may want to continue working to keep themselves busy, while others may say, I need time off and I need to really process what's happening. And then E is for empathize. So it's important to, from managers' perspective, to be able to empathize with your employees, meet them where they are. And again, understanding that these events are impacting them differently. We've all been on this emotional roller coaster since early 2020, and we're dealing with one crisis after another with few breaks in between. So you want to be able to put yourself in their shoes and offer reasonable options for them to take the time that they need so they can show up. And that may even mean referring them to an employee assistance program or your EAP if you have one, because they offer free or greatly discounted services, including mental health and counseling for employees and their immediate family members.
And finally, your thoughts on how all of this could permanently change human resources and employee expectations long after the pandemic is over.
Yeah, so for years, I'm an HR professional, so for years, HR professionals and leaders have told their employees, you don't talk about race, politics, or religion in the workplace. And I think now that's nearly impossible. We're spending way more time at home now, taking in the news and social media in ways that we hadn't before. And so it's difficult to disconnect and put up those guardrails. But I think that's a good thing because in essence, we were telling employees to leave pieces of themselves at home. And now what we're saying is we need to address the entire employee. And that means they may be dealing with things in different ways that we're not aware of. I think that's going to shift the workplace in a good way if done right and respectfully.
All right, Dr. Tana Session, good to see you. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year again. Dr. Tana Session, executive performance strategist, best-selling author. Her latest book is Working While Black, A Woman's Guide to Stop Being the Best-Kept Secret. To pre-order a copy and get more information about how employers should support their employees during times of crisis, go to tanamsession.com.